My name is Anthony Jones, and in this video, we're going to talk about PR in healthcare. Now, in order to talk about public relations in terms of healthcare, we have to define public relations, and our book defines it as a distinctive management function which helps establish and maintain mutual lines of communication, understanding and acceptance, and cooperation between an organization and its publics. It involves the management of problems or issues and helps management to keep informed on and responsive to public opinion. It defines and emphasizes the responsibility of management to serve the public interest. Now, these are just some of the things that PR does and how it interacts with management. But why is it so critical in healthcare? Because it is. Well, it has to do with the relationships between healthcare organizations and the community. And healthcare PR firms are actually very, very popular because they have high social interaction. And people know of them because they have to speak with pharmaceutical companies, for example. For example, there's Lincare here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where this video is being made. They actually specialize in medical equipment here in Spartanburg, and they provide it to hospitals, to different organizations, and to get their name out, to get positive information, to keep the public and their investors informed, they use PR, public relations. There's also high social interaction with hospitals and the administrative staff and the actual doctors within the hospitals to keep them informed on new medicine and new things happening in the medical field. There's also high interaction with insurance agencies to make sure that their policies are up to date and that they're offering the best for the time. Now, why would an organization really care about PR in terms of healthcare? Well, there are a few different reasons and a few different things that an organization might be trying to accomplish when it comes to PR in healthcare. One thing may be growth in their segment, wherever they may be. If it comes to a specific medicine, and they want to increase their market share, they may use PR to get information out that will hopefully have a positive spin, especially if the communication is uncontrolled. If they want entrance into the segment, maybe there's a new medicine that they want to get information out, they will definitely reach out to a public relations firm for that. Maybe the company needs credibility, and that's a big thing that also ties with what we talked about this semester, because that has to do with trust. Maybe the firm itself isn't as trustworthy as information coming through a gatekeeper or through someone else, which is why people use PR firms and their organizations to get the word out about new medicines or new things like that, with that trust being there because it's not coming from the firm themselves. So when we look at tech firms like Epic and Meditech, they may want to use PR firms, and they may help other companies because they actually are technical companies in themselves. So these hospitals, these doctors, these other agencies can really, really benefit from this new technological advances available in things like Epic and Meditech. And they have to get their word out and they have to get their updates out, and they may use public relations to do so. Organizations also want to reach consumers, and that can be the main point of a lot of organizations in relations to PR. That's who they want to reach: consumers, investors, and policymakers in the end. They want to change laws, they want to have a positive effect on society, and PR is a fantastic way to do that. It's a crucial way to get that accomplished. Now, if you work in healthcare and public relations, some of the things that you do on a daily basis is build the brand of whoever you work for. This can include attending trade shows, this can include leading and attending conferences. This can include getting articles and other things like that on the news. This can include being interviewed on the news yourself. So it's a great kind of thing to do to build your brand, and it's a daily task if you work in PR and healthcare. And communication is another daily task. Communication is integrated, which means it's both controlled and uncontrolled. Sometimes in public relations, especially in healthcare, you do pay for some controlled media and advertisement to be out there. But most of the time, most of your work is uncontrolled. And that goes back to something kind of interesting when it comes to healthcare. Social media actually isn't used that much. And it may have a little bit to do with the fact that you can only go so far. when it comes to healthcare and what you actually release without violating anything like HIPAA and anything like that. So for safety, social media isn't actually used that much. So, as an overview, when it comes to public relations, it's very, very broad. And it's very, very hard to define, actually, but it's ever changing, especially when it comes to healthcare. Because in the end of the day, you are looking at the organization and the relationship between it and the publics. And that changes as culture changes, as any other things like that change. But that's one of the benefits of communication. When you communicate with this public, and when you're speaking with these pharmaceutical companies, these hospitals, insurance companies, these investors and policymakers, the news when you're being interviewed, things like that, all of those skills in communication can be used elsewhere in life. And so they're great to practice every day when it comes to PR and healthcare. Thank you.